Hello everyone. So in previous tutorial we have learned about the Arnold physical sky, but in this tutorial we will learn more about it, and we will add some more lights from Arnold render engine, and also we will look at some of the additional parameters inside attribute editor. So let's continue. So what we have this scene. So for a purpose I will just press 4. 4 is basically for wireframe. So it's very easy to handle the wireframe. If you are working in light, you have to check through the render tab, but if you are currently moving around your viewport, or if you are examine anything particular section, you can press 4, because see, the scene is getting lighter. But if I press 7, what happens? The scene will be heavier. So by pressing 4 you can go at that particular place. Okay, now one more thing is that if you select any of the particular object, and if you go to Arnold, and in lights here you have the mesh light. So what mesh light does, if you click here and I press the 7, now you see it's converted into light. Now as with the help of this, you can also go to your additional parameters. Now you have all the things which suits and which you can change according to your needs. So now it's converted into mesh light, and you can also change from here the light visibility. For a test I will just render a particular image. So at first I will just check all the things are in low quality. Okay, fine. Now I will just make a test render, and what we will get nothing, because that light has, you can say, vanished. So what we will do, here you have light visibility, and also in downwards. Okay, now if we go here, we have the additional parameters which is by default present in Maya. This is transform attribute, so we don't require this. So here you have the show original mesh. No, we don't require mesh. Color is fine, use color temperature, we don't. Light visible, and cast shadow, cast volume. So if you render again, now you see it is just over there. So you can just have the particular, you can go over the, you can say, into your so you can go over your intensity, just play around your intensity. Okay, I will just on the so much. If you want to change the color of your light, yeah, definitely you can do it well. You have all the freedoms which lies over here. It will directly turn off your adjustment and all. So here you have the use color temperature. You can have all the things, and make sure that you just on the play button. If I off this, as you can see, it's getting bounced. If I off this, now you can see the light color which you have changed, it's now updating over here. So if you just off this light visibility, it will off the same, but still the bounciness will be there due to this. So you can modify bulb, tube light inside a particular room. So like this way you can work quite well, and these are additional features inside Arnold. So you can have all the things which have over there. So like this way you can work for the same. So what happens if you just put like this? Okay, we'll go to bookmark, and here we have the camera view. Let's have a test render. As you can see, your light is over there. If you need some sort of bounciness here, you can do it well, but we don't require bounciness. For bounciness, you just add few of the more lights here by circulating its position, and you can have bounciness. But in lighting, as you have seen in previous, that we have discussed about the shadow, it's better to have the gradient type shadow. Over here, and here is the sunlight which gets bounced because it's just bouncing from here, and the shadow which is generating over here is from there. As you can see over the leaves area also, that if you see the leaves, the lower part is getting shadow as compared to the upper part. So if you want to render a particular section, you just click like this. If you want to render like this, click. I will go to camera AA, will increase all the things. Okay, transmission little bit because it takes so much of time, and we need subsurface scatter little bit. Volume indirect is fine. Let's have a test render and let's see what happens. And what I will do, cut. So let's have a test render. So now as you can see, all the things has changed from here. And one more thing is that and now you have the idea about how you can change the light and all. So here we have another most important thing, which is Ies Lights. So here we have a couple of different presets of Ies Lights, which is available in Google by free. So you can go to any of the website which provides Ies Light, and you can download for Max, Maya, or any other 3D software. So you have the Ies Lights. As I just open any of them. Okay, now you have the both Ies Light. Its file extension is Ies file, and it's very small in size. So now what I will do, for Ies Lights, you have this photometric light. So this will allow you to create some Ies Lights. If you click over here, now your photometric light has formed. Where it is? Here. I will press 4 for a time, go to here, press F to focus this particular section. Okay, and now just put it over here somehow over. Just for the examine purpose, if you can work like this, you can work in perspective if you are forming the light, but make sure that whatever you work in perspective, you just have to just rotate around your axis to see the correct position. If it is going in the correct direction, then it's okay, otherwise you have to maintain it. Or even if you are not comfortable in perspective, you can go to any other section, that is front, side, and top. Or even if you press shift button and right click button, by holding shift and right click, you can change any of the view in your Maya. So that's a very much freedom, as you are not comfortable in perspective. So I will just drag this because we need space. We'll drag over here, and what we else have, let's see, we'll select this and we'll select this light and we'll delete the same. let's have a look. Now have a look. So now what I will do, I just put it the photometric light which we have created from here, and in photometric light we have a particular section inside attribute editor which is photometric file. So here we have the Ies Lights, which is a kind of photometric light, and it is open plugin. So what we will do, we will just go to photometric file, and here you have the folder. Just click over here and just go to your desktop, and here you have the Ies Lights collection, and you have to go to any of them. I am just selecting any of the files because we have to just check. So here you have the load. In after load, what happens, see, if you go to 7, as you can see, now it's generating quite smooth light. As you can see, the lights getting bounce like this. Have a look. Here you have the bounce. If you can increase the intensity, it will directly bounce like this. So it's also a bouncing kind of light. You can also drag the same like this if you focus on the top part like this, or even you can also bounce like this. It's a kind of spotlight, but not exactly spotlight, because if it has any surface to cast, then it will cast in proper way. Otherwise, if you move, it will just fall off and just work like a target light. But it's not a target light, it's a photometric, and it will only work when you have Ies light profiles. So like this way, just add some of the lights like this, press Ctrl D for duplicate, just align the light. If you found any of the darker region like here, because you have to cast the shadow properly and you have the proper lighting area also, that means you just focus like this, press W, just move backward and have little bit of bounciness of the lights. So it's very important, and to have a look at each and every lines. So if you select, we don't require white color because already we have so much of white color lights. Now I will change it to any other color. So I will just put some amount of lighter green, lighter blue and all. Okay, that's good. White, back of it is white, no problem. Just focus in this section. Let's have a look. So like this way you can add your Ies lights, and you can in render view. So if you are not familiar with Ies light, you can work with this rendering section, and you have all the lights over here. You will find a little bit of same into both of them, but yes, few lights in Arnold is very important, especially this one, which is area light, and mesh light is not so required, and photometric is not also, but this one is physical sky is very important, as it will change whole of your scene. And this light, which is create light portal is also important, as it is like that of mental ray, physical sun and sky, but in Arnold it has some other features. If I go to render setting, and one more thing is that if you go to system, you find that render time is interactive. This is because we have the particular section which is on off. You can also go from here, or even or even you can also change it from here. Bucket scanning, this is spiral. What is bucket scanning? Whenever you rendered a particular section, there is a small buckets which will just render the particular data. That's the bucket scanning. So just put like, okay, fine, 64 is fine. And one more thing is that here you have the motion blur. So if you have some animations, you can enable it, and you have the environment, you have atmosphere and background. What we have discussed, that in mental ray there is a physical sun and sky. You can also create from here, create AI atmosphere volume, create AI fog or background legacy, AI physical sky, create sky shader, physical sky shader, create ray switch shader, create ray switch shader. So we will discuss later words. And also one more thing is that whenever you are lighting a particular section, you have all the freedoms. That means you can change one by one. That means you can also modify the lights. If you are not satisfied with Control Z, sorry, if you are not satisfied with a particular section of light, you can just change it through attribute editor. And there is a problem in selecting. You can go to outliner, and here you have all the features. If you want to select this point line, you can't select it because there is a mesh also. Make sure that you have to rename each and everything properly, otherwise you will be in problem laterwards if you have very much thing inside your scene. So you can also change your letter from here. And one more thing is that there are much more options. If you select this light, especially this one, and go to attribute editor, and here inside this panel we have so much more panels like subsurface scattering, diffuse, specular, indirect or volume, which is by default present in your render settings also, but these are different and these are different. This is basically inside the light, and this is basically when your scene will be rendered. After that it will apply the same. So if you can keep increasing its value, then also it takes some render times. So now what we'll do, we'll just use some of the normal lights here, and we will start a render with it. So quickly I will add some couples of more light, and after that we'll add some animations. So let's make it. Now I want to reposition all the lights, so I will delete all the lights one by one, and I just have only one light and this particular section of light. So let's quickly set up a particular scene for our lighting. So So let's quickly set up a particular scene for our lighting, and let's meet to the next session. Cut. So let's quickly set up a particular scene for our lighting. So I have just erased all the lights and we have only one light here. And one more thing is that if you want to erase this light, you just do one more thing. One more thing is that if you want to erase its mesh lights, then you just select that particular section, press delete. Now your mesh light will be deleted. And now let's quickly set up a scene for our lighting. And what I will do, I will just go to the 7 view and just put some of the lighting. At first we'll go to 6, Control D, and we'll put some lighting over here and have a look and what we will get after that. Let's have a look. We'll set the color and the intensity laterwards, but we'll adjust the light at first. We'll go to render tab, and here we have the point light, which is Omni. Inside Maya we called it point light, inside Maya we called point light. So we'll put some of the point light because we need so little bit of bounciness over here, and we'll put some lights like this. And after that, what we have the back part. So we'll select this light only and Control D, will move here and just move here. And what I will do, just simply grab this, press R for scale, and we'll scale this, okay, and we'll tilt it so that its position is just straight of it. So just press 7 and have a look that if this is quite well or not. I think it's quite fine. And okay, we have to work in the Omni because you can select from here, you can work in the Omni because it's bouncing so much. We need a little bit of bounciness, not this amount of. So we'll just decrease the intensity by a little bit of lower. And what happens if you have negative value in light? If you have negative value, it will just absorb the nearby light's intensity, so will not put any negative value. If you can have inside a particular big large screen. In studio, the artist have used the cut. In studio, the artist will use cut. In studio, the artist use the negative intensity to absorb nearby light intensity. So okay, now I think okay, fine. And what we else have here, we will just put it somehow over here. And now one more thing, the color which will be lighter blue here. And now I think we'll move this over here and let it cast. Also you can put some of the small lights here, or you can use the spotlight or even the directional, but directional will change your whole scene, so we'll not use. You have the area light which is same as this one, so like this way also you can have more lights. So like this way cut. So like this way also you can have more lights. And one more thing is that I will just make a new Omni and will press W for move. And what I will do, instead of going here, I will just put it somehow over here at the top, and will decrease the intensity by 0.002. I think it's Okay, fine. We have to change it. Control D again, and we have just duplicated it. Make sure that you're just moving downward. Press F, and if I increase the intensity of the light, there is more panel like decay rate, which is very important. In decay there is no decay, so we don't need no decay. We will go to linear, and you can see it's changed quite bit. So here also you can just select this and go to linear, and you can increase the intensity little bit. Linear will act like normal environment, like natural environment, and quadratic will decrease its intensity, lower cubic also. So I just using the linear, and here we have soft bounciness of the lights. So if the render is not proper, then we have to also adjust it, because you can only do lighting in perfect way when you just click on render again and again, then only. So we have just set it at scene. Make sure that whatever you are making, you just save your file again and again, because you have to work in the, you can say, versions. So that's very important. So I'm just saving my file again. So now what I will do, I will just go to bookmark and camera view 1, and so this is also a test render, so we don't have to just require. As you can see here, we have the bounciness of the omni, and here we have the darker part, so we need to work in this. Here also we have proper lighting. I think this one is fine. This we have to work, and we will use some amount of omni here also, and we will also shift this omni downward. If the omni will shift downward, then it will fall the whole surface here. So we don't require any light here because it's already fine. And what we will do, we'll just select the omni, move little bit of down, and what we will do, will increase the intensity little bit, and control D. Move it somehow here. We'll move it to here, move it downward, move here. So we are not using any linear or quadratic here, because we need lights. And if I go downward, you have a Arnold panel. Inside omni you have Arnold panel. If you open the Arnold panel, you find some of the main features of light. You can use the exposure and sample value. This will just use your RAM and graphic card. So later on we will just increase it. And we have visibility, light filters. We don't require light filters, and cast shadow. Yeah, we definitely required cast shadow, because we need some amount of shadows also. So we duplicate this light, control D, and what I will do, I will just put it somehow over here, because as you have seen, this part is getting darker, and we don't require darker thing like so. We'll put somehow over here. So let's have a look in this particular section: view, bookmark, camera view. So it's very important to set up your light. If you are working in a particular movie, if the movie is getting few problems in cut, if you are working in a particular shots, if the shot is getting problem in few frames, that means in that particular frame you have to adjust the light. So we need more intensity over here. So what we will do, we'll just turn the intensity around more, and we'll just shift this light. So okay, control D, in sense of using intensity, I just put one more here, which would be beneficial for me. And will increase its intensity. let's have a look. Yeah, now you can see it is quite acting good, you can say. And now we have to just have a good render, and we'll adjust few of the properties, and we'll adjust more sync. So we'll go to Arnold and just apply a couple of more light here, and now what else we have? Select this, we'll go downward, and all the things is fine. So we'll go to render settings, and we'll increase the camera AA by 8, diffuse by I think 6, specular exactly, we need specularity, so I think 6. Transmission level will not just increase it very much, because it needs RAM power, and we will using subsurface scattering instead of using transmission, so it will produce some amount of glow. In organic character modeling, especially in human modeling, we use subsurface scattering in skin, but we have mushroom in this section, so we will use this subsurface scattering little bit, so that it will just illuminate the light in its corner and in the top. So volume indirect will increase by 2. Ray depth, we don't require ray depth, and here also we have specular, but we don't require ray depth because we have just work in the sampling. Now what we will do, we'll go to view and go to bookmark camera view. So I will just pause this video and will show you the render image, and you may have the better idea that how we can adjust by few tweaking the light and its attribute editor property features inside Maya application. So let's meet to the next session.